Hi guys, so I have spent over $50,000 on cold email software over past 3 years. I run a cold email agency and I've tested so many tools, and I can tell you that many of them really suck. And in today's video, I want to focus on the tool which is called Woodpecker.co, and that's one of my favorite tools specifically to automate cold email campaigns. This tool is actually the heart of my agency because we send all our cold email campaigns using Woodpecker specifically. So I want to dive in to how you can get started with Woodpecker, how you can send your initial campaigns, how you can evaluate your results, and keep growing, keep getting new clients. Let's go. All right, so the good thing is that Woodpecker has a free trial, and you can find the link to register to a free trial, actually to extended free trial, in the video description. Okay, you just fill in the info and click on Start Free Trial. All right, so we are in the panel. So just before we dive into it, Woodpecker is the tool that automates your cold emails and follow-ups. So that's a very cold email specific tool. So it doesn't have all the fancy features you have in tools like, I don't know, Outreach, or HubSpot. It's not a CRM. It's called email management tool, right? It also has LinkedIn integration. It can integrate with your CRM, but it's very cold email specific. And also Woodpecker operates like your email client, but in more automatic way. So let's say you use your Mac Mail or you use Thunderbird, and basically you connect your Google or Microsoft accounts to these email clients. Woodpecker works in a pretty similar way. You just connect your mailboxes to Woodpecker, and then Woodpecker uses your mailbox to send your cold email campaigns. So in fact, all these cold email campaigns, all these emails are being sent from your mailbox. That's why you should keep in mind that you have some limitations. So you will not be able to send unlimited emails, let's say from one mailbox. To send more cold emails and then scale your outreach, you will need to connect more mailboxes, and Woodpecker has great features to do so. All right, before we dive into creating a campaign, what we need to do is actually to add an email account. And that's a really simple procedure. Depending on what email provider you use, you choose your option. So the easiest connection is obviously through Google or Microsoft. You just click on it, and then you just choose your email. Make sure to grant access. And typically it takes like 20 seconds and your mailbox is connected. While I'm waiting on connection, I'll play some Sting. All right, here we are. So right now, what you need to do is basically to set up your from name. So basically that's what recipients will see when receiving emails from you, and your signature. So for cold emailing specifically, I recommend using plain text signatures. They typically look like this, but you can make them look more beautiful, right? So you can use some bold text here. Instead of this email, you can add something like, now it looks better, right? Also, potentially you can add a phone number, you can add some more information, or, it's completely up to you, but just make sure it's in plain text. There is a possibility to add a signature in HTML, but I do not recommend this. If you send very targeted campaigns to warm audience, yes, okay, you can use it. But if you send cold email campaigns in scalable way, huge volumes, in this case, I recommend to use only plain text signatures. But if you want to use a better looking signature, you can also use signature creator that Woodpecker also has. You just click on Get a Signature and you will be able to create better looking signatures with this email signature creator. Okay, so let's click on Save and move on. Also, Woodpecker automatically checks if my DNS records such as SPF.km and domain H are in place. Looks like everything is good. Before adding a new campaign, Let's go to settings and see what options do we have before starting a campaign. So we can configure the profile, which is all clear. Let's move to accounts. That's a place where you actually add your email accounts, or you integrate your LinkedIn profiles. That's how the email account panel looks like. And here you can also add your LinkedIn accounts, but as you can see, it requires a higher plan, and probably it's not possible to do on the free trial. So let's get back to email. As you can see, Woodpecker also provides a warm-up. If your email account is brand new, you will need to warm it up. You can do it separately from what you do in Woodpecker, or you can do it in Woodpecker. So for this purpose, you just click on Add Warm-up. We can see it's free. To connect your email account to warm-up, you will need to follow all the steps, and you will need to generate an app password to connect it. Woodpecker has a separate instructions and guide how to do so. Let's get back to the email panel. So also, if we go to settings here, we'll be able to edit our from name and signature, our sending configuration. So basically it's more advanced stuff here. We can obviously configure warm-up, and we can set up daily limits. So typically 50 cold emails a day from the brand new email account is too much. So I can set up 10, I can set up 20, and there is the default sending frequency, which is 15 emails per hour. We can potentially, increase it, or we can slow down a little bit and set a slower sending frequency. It's also very important. Do not set up too many emails in 1 hour. If you start sending a lot of emails, especially cold emails, it can potentially trigger a spam filter. So be careful with all the settings. I would just recommend leave the frequency that is currently set up here. But to start from, let's say, 10 or 20 cold emails, everything really depends on how aged are mailboxes that you use. If you connect the mailbox that you've been using for 1 year and it's already warmed up, okay, you can start from the high limits like 40, 50 emails a day. But if it's a super brand new email account, make sure to send not more than 10 emails a day. Ideally start from 5 and then later increase, add 1 more email each day. If you scroll down, you will be able to see some other settings, but again, I don't want to dive into every detail here. Just want to show you how the system works generally and the capabilities. If you go to receiving, it's basically settings for the Woodpecker inbox, because Woodpecker, as I mentioned, works like an email client on top of your mailbox. So it also downloads all the correspondence from your mailbox. And in receiving settings specifically, you can decide whether you want to download only emails connected with the campaigns that you run in Woodpecker, or download all incoming emails to your mailbox. So that's completely up to you. All right, let's move on. Domain checkup is also very simple but very informative tab here. It basically shows you if your SPF and DKIM records are configured. These are absolutely necessary records to run any cold email campaigns or generally using a business mailbox. And domain age, in my case, it's very old, so everything is in place. Also, as you can see, Woodpecker allows you to purchase domains and email accounts that you want to use for your campaigns right here in the panel. So that's something that we do not do in our agency, because typically it's more expensive. We have other options to purchase some Google or Microsoft reseller accounts, or we use some custom SMTPs. But everything for your convenience. If you want to do so here, you can purchase domains and email accounts right in the panel. Okay, billing, it's clear. So Woodpecker basically, when it comes to the pricing in 2025, because if you watch this video in 2000, I don't know, 30, maybe it looks a bit different. But right now, Woodpecker basically charges you for contacted prospects and stored prospects. Yeah. So if you want to contact 500 prospects a month and store up to 2000 prospects, you will pay, let's see, $60, which is pretty okay. But if you want to scale it, obviously the price will be changing. Yeah. But what I like about Woodpecker pricing is that it doesn't limit you on how many mailboxes you can connect. And it's also usage based, right? So if you send a lot of emails, you pay more. If you send less, you send less, right? So that's definitely cool. And company settings. So you can add team members. Safety is also a cool feature, very important feature. If you have existing clients or if you have some exclusion lists, you can add domains of companies that you don't want to contact. Or you can add domains of people you want to avoid contacting, maybe your ex, I don't know. Let's do the main thing right now. Let's add a campaign and let's see how the flow looks like. So I'm clicking on add campaign. I'll give the name of this campaign. Typically, you put chapters, August 27, and it's a demo campaign. I'll choose the email account I want to use to send this campaign specifically. But if I connect more mailboxes, I will be able to add all of them to this one campaign. And I really like the flow here, to tell the truth, because I can easily add all these email accounts and Woodpecker will be sending my campaign just using these accounts one by one, right? So basically that's the way you can actually scale your campaigns. If you add like 100 email accounts, you will be able to send heck a lot of cold emails. Here are some additional options. What is important? If you are, obviously I'm in Europe, if you're in the United States, just make sure to choose the right time zone. If your prospects in the United States, obviously use the right time zone, or use the feature which is called use prospects time zone if available. Woodpecker also detects the time zone of your recipients based on things like country, state, city, and sends these emails according to the prospects time zone, which is really great feature. And here you can specify how many prospects you want to contact every day. So the max limit right now is 500. If you put like 600, Woodpecker will let you know that 500 is the max. And here's a tip. If you want Woodpecker team to increase your per campaign limit, you can actually reach out to them through this live chat and potentially ask them if they can increase your per campaign limit. Because let's say if you have 100 mailboxes and you want to send, I don't know, 2000 emails per day from one campaign, and you want to avoid creating multiple campaigns, yeah, you just need to reach out to them, and I think they will just say, yes, we can do that. But I will put 100 for now. There are some additional options. If you're in Europe, there is GDPR compliant unsubscribe, which is really cool option for European companies. List unsubscribe header. And there are advanced settings as well. So you can configure your email verification. By default, it sends to deliverable and risky catch-all emails. What does it mean generally? Woodpecker has built-in validation system. So once you launch your campaign, Woodpecker starts validating emails and sends only to those that are deliverable or risky by default. Risky, it means that Woodpecker is not sure if it's deliverable or undeliverable. Yeah, so it still sends, and you might get some kind of bounces. Yeah, so but you can actually decide whether you want maximum balance or only verify or none. So that's completely up to you. Open tracking. So by default, open tracking is enabled. I recommend disabling open tracking. I give you 80%, 90% that it will trigger spam filters. So you should be very careful with open tracking, and generally open tracking is not reliable metric because right now Apple, for example, opens all the emails, all the images. So it's even if the person doesn't open your email, Woodpecker will show you that email was opened, right? So you should be very careful with that. My recommendation is not to track opens, but to disable it. There are some advanced options like auto match email providers. So it means that it will send from your Microsoft accounts to other Microsoft accounts and from your Google accounts to Google accounts of your recipients. That's the option that I do not use, and I don't know if I should recommend it or not. We do not see that deliverability is better when you send from Microsoft to Microsoft. So that's completely up to you. And auto pause for same domain. It means that if you have 5 people from the same company, they have the same domain, and if one of these people actually responds to your campaign, Woodpecker stops campaign to all the other people under this domain. So as simple as that. Let's get back, and here you can add your content. Woodpecker has all the capabilities to personalize your emails on scale. First of all, Woodpecker provides you with the snippets, yeah? And these are dynamic fields where you can put some data, and everything starts from your database, obviously. Let's scroll down a little bit. You can see prospects here. And basically, that's the way you add your database, your contacts. And there are several ways you can do this. Obviously, importing your CSV or Excel file, add from Woodpecker database, from integrations, or add them manually, or through Woodpecker's lead finder. We can try lead finder. Let's do it. All right, so I'm looking for people here. So to tell the truth, it's not the best experience when it comes to looking for the people in Woodpecker specifically. So generally, I like Woodpecker, and that's also the reason why I'm recording this video. But you know, looking for the leads is not the best experience, to tell the truth. Find an ad to campaign, and we can add this leads to campaign. But the great thing is obviously that everything is in one place. Okay, all the people has been added. So let's go to our campaign. And we can see 3 people in our campaign with LinkedIn and all the information that we need. So we have 3 people in campaign. We have started working on the content. And basically we can use some generic template, for example, like this one. But typically I do not send such generic templates. So I like to personalize emails. And Woodpecker also has all these fields, snippets that can be used to personalize something. So for example, if I put snippet 1 right here, and if I go to my database, obviously you can do this in Clay, you can do this in spreadsheets, but that's just an example. And I put something like your show. In this case, like your shoes, like your car, whatever. So, and I put this snippet 1 here, and you can see this is like a personalization. And if we go to the summary and to the preview, you will be able to see for this person receives like your show, this person receives like your shoes, and so on. Obviously, it makes no sense, but it's all about how it works, right? So you can even put the whole email copy into this snippet. And that's actually the way I do it. If you use Clay or any other system to personalize and to research your emails and using AI to actually create emails that are hyper-personalized, you can later use Woodpecker to actually send this hyper-personalized emails, not just generic templates. And that's something that really works in 2025 and will be working in 2026. It's very important, right? I'm showing you the capabilities once again, but you need to use some other tools to make sure that your prospects are well targeted, well researched, and you use AI to personalize the content of your emails. Woodpecker actually has great capabilities when it comes to actually importing files that you export, for example, from Clay with personalized content in all these fields, and later actually sending this personalized content to your prospects. So we have prospects, we have the first email. We can specify when we want to send this email, and we can add some additional steps here. And Woodpecker has basically, when it comes to automatic options, it has two options. You can send the follow-up emails, right? You can also set conditions for the follow-up emails. In this case, we do not track opens, but so typically I do not use this feature, right? But you can actually play with some conditions. For example, has a snippet if a company, I don't know, if a country contains specifically United States. In this case, we can run a different follow-up sequence, for example, right? In this case, I don't need this condition. I just need the follow-up email. The same with the follow-up email. Basically, you can set up the times when you want to send it. And if you leave the subject line empty, this follow-up email will be sent within the same thread in Woodpecker. But if you put something here, it will be sent in the separate thread as completely new email. This is important. So you can add many follow-ups. If you have integrated your LinkedIn account, you can also add some LinkedIn steps. It also allows you to visit profiles of your prospects, send connection requests, and send direct messages, which is also great. But you need to make sure your LinkedIn account is actually connected to Woodpecker. All right, I will delete this step. And basically, Woodpecker also allows you to add some tasks. For example, if you want to run cold email campaigns as well as to do some cold calls, you can add tasks for yourself actually to do the cold call. Yeah. So that's how that works. And what I love about Woodpecker is that it's just one flow. You just scroll down, you add your first email, you add your follow-ups, you add your LinkedIn steps, you add conditions. So it's completely up to your creativity, but I like the flow. And here are your prospects. And before sending anything, you can actually send a test campaign to yourself, just clicking on this, or preview everything in Woodpecker, how it looks like, how your signature looks like. It's also important when you send cold email campaigns actually to look at these emails like your recipients actually look at them, and basically put yourself into the prospect shoes, right? So once everything is ready, so basically now we can run our campaign. So the status of our campaign is running. Yeah. So if we click on campaigns, so we'll be able to see that the campaign is running. So to track the progress, basically we need to look at delivered emails. And if we click on the campaign name, we'll be able to see how many prospects are in queue and how many emails were sent. I also like the stats because it shows the whole flow as well. So basically, here we have our prospects. Then Woodpecker is validating and showing us how many prospects were invalid, then how many emails went out, how many bounced, how many delivered, and later, obviously, if we track opens, we'll be able to see how many actually open our emails. But remember, the open tracking stat is not reliable, and how many prospects responded. So when it comes to the benchmarks specifically, so depending on in what you are selling and what's your offer, but if you run typical cold email campaigns, you should aim to get at least 3% of reply rates. 2 or 3, that's the minimum. If you get 1% of reply rates, it means something is not clicking, right? So make sure you track that. And basically, if you scroll down here, you will be able to see stats for each step in your sequence. Email 1, email 2. If you also do LinkedIn outreach, you will be able to see stats, how many people accepted your connection request, how many people replied, and so on. So basically, that's how the flow actually goes. In Woodpecker, you also have all these tabs like inbox, where you will be able to track all the replies. And Woodpecker also has reply detection system, and Woodpecker automatically qualifies people as interested, maybe later, or not interested, which is also cool because you can later trigger some workflows in your CRM. For example, once somebody is interested, Woodpecker marks this person as interested, and you can add this person automatically to your CRM. So that's definitely cool. They also have this deliverability tab, which is really cool because here you will be able to see detailed reports about how many responses you get, what's your sending volume over time. So that's definitely great. And in Prospects, that's your central database where you can add all your prospects, where you can store your prospects, and obviously manipulate your database. If you want to create new campaigns, you will be able to do this. If you want to export or to import prospects, so everything is doable here. All right, guys, so I hope this video was useful. I really think that Woodpecker is a very user-friendly tool, very reliable tool when it comes to cold email campaigns. So if you want to try it out, just use my link below and you will get a 30-day free trial to test your cold email campaigns. So thank you so much for watching this video, and of course subscribe to my channel to get notifications about new videos. Thank you and have a good day.